For the first time I watched him, I could just see he had something different in him to what the normal players have.
It's probably 2, and I used to just throw him it, and he just hit it with his right, hit it with his right, and then I'd throw it, and they'd play that for us.
I talked to all the right people, and they'd all said exactly the same things. No, this is either I won or we won.
He's obviously been a name that everybody spoke about, even down the road. I think his name was going about when he was, 16 years old, and he was getting spoke about.
You're not going to school today. And I was like, alright. And he's like, you're going up to train with the first team. I was like, buzzing like class. He says, don't tell your mum.
Oh my God, that's Frank Lampard. Frank, can I get a picture? Billy was like...
Best time ever, mum, brilliant. Got absolutely everything in here, everything you need. I got a taxi straight from Glasgow to Norwich, through the night, through the dog. Just because I was like, I'm not going to hang myself, like I can't.
I was like his dad at times looking after him, and I was probably harder on him than anybody else in the squad because I knew what he was capable of.
When you get called up for your country, there's no better feeling.
Oh, and Gilmore scores!
Obviously I'd heard a lot about through my contacts at Chelsea at the time. And you're looking for someone who can maybe be the future of Scottish football, and certainly at that stage of his career, Billy was one that we earmarked.
For everything that he might still achieve in football, at the end of the day, he's still just their wee Billy.
See the amount of haircuts, like I'd ask for like Nike ticks and Adidas badges, and I had a chessboard in the back of my head once. Literally, I'm just thinking, seeing I look back, I had some terrible haircuts.
Was there ever a haircut that was influenced by a footballer?
Ronaldo probably.
The original one?
No. That's, do you know what, I've never had that haircut. My mum would never allow me either. Cristiano probably. Mad, innit? It's quirky, Brighton's quirky. That's what I always say to people, it's a quirky place. But it's different, I like it. Like, there's always something going on in Brighton, literally. That's what I've found out. There's always something going on. If there's someone DJing on the beach in the summer, or there's little events, comedy clubs, loads of stuff. Family come down, they love it, and when they do, they always come to the pier. And especially I've got 2 little cousins and my little brother, they'll come down and we go and play like mini golf or bowling, go to the arcade.
But you don't take that for granted that the family still do that?
No, definitely not. And sometimes I won't be playing, I won't get on the pitch, and it's good, we've got to see you for 10 minutes after the game and we've got a wee chat. But they always make the time and effort to come and see me, and especially now.
So I would say my earliest memory, I remember the couch, the 3-seater, and I used to throw him, it was just like a wee sponge ball. And it's probably 2, and I used to just throw him it, and he just hit it with his right, hit it with his right. Just throw him it. Any time he picked it up, I was like, I'm not playing. So he's kind of pick the ball up. So you've got to kick it, And then throw it, and they play that for us.
I've never had ornaments in here. They used it as target practice if I had any ornaments.
Flower bed, what?
Flower bed, hanging basket, flowers.
Hang down, and me and Billy would choose them as targets, as if they were the top corners. Like, right, see how many attempts it takes you to hit it.
Was it like jumpers for goalposts with 2 boys? Were they just playing morning, noon and night?
Yep, constant. Even rain, hail or snow. I remember Billy must have been maybe not even 2, and they had to go and try and find the smallest welly boots you could get so he could go outside and play in the rain, because he used to always just stand at my mum's patio door crying. He wanted out.
Even his mum, see if we're in Astro in the summer, don't come home for your lunch, son. I'll bring your lunch to you so you can stay at the football. I'm like, tell him to come home for half an hour. He's going, no, because he might be in a game of copy or something. So she'd take the lunch up to the AstroTurf for them, pass it through the fence and then come back down. And then we'd see them about dinner time.
First time kicking a ball, probably going down the park at Central Avenue. My granda taking me down there, just kicking the ball as far as he could in the air, and me trying to control it and telling him to keep doing it until we got tired. Mum taking me to training, my dad taking my football team. That's like the first proper memories. At
School you get like the all about me sheets, and it's like, what's your favourite colour, what's your hobbies, what do you want to be when you're older? And he put, I want to be a footballer. And I was like, you need to choose something else, because not everybody makes it as a footballer. No, I will. Like, that's just what I wanted to do
I've never ever thought about what I would be if I never played football.
What special day is it today, Billy?
My birthday.
Right. Right. These are from Harvey.
What about the glory days with Tass?
Yeah, Tass's good days. My boys' club growing up, playing with all my friends from back home at school. So it was like play at the weekend, training after like school and stuff, and then the next day at school you're talking about how good this was at training. And my dad was the coach, so if the training was crap, I'd be telling my dad. My dad knows how to get the best out of me. Since very, very young, I'll be playing fine, and like he'll be saying stuff like, he's doing better than you. And I'd be like, no, he's not. He's like, he is. And then I'd get like pure raging, pure annoyed. And then that's when he's like, when you're annoyed, you play the best. He says when you're aggressive and you've got your teeth gritted, he says that's when you're at your best playing football. And that's how my dad like triggered me to kind of play that all the time.
Hi Dad, this is a kick-up ball. You get to numbers and you kick up like that. See, I remember you showed me like you did.
Keepy-ups.
Aye. So I could do that then. And wow, look at that big rock I got. Let's try it here. Ready? I'm gonna do this stupid.
Practice.
Came back to 2009, Saturday morning. I'd set out my programme where I was going to go. Watch Billy play with Tass. My programme was to continue on to Ardrossan. I couldn't help but watch Billy's game through the game that I was watching. And you're just hoping that nobody else for another team turns up. For the first time I watched them, I could just see he had something different in him to what the normal players have. Probably the best that I've ever watched in a young boy at that age. I phoned Jim McNee, who was in charge of that age group where we were taking players in. I just said, Jim, I've got somebody here I need to bring in. How quickly? I says, he'll need to come in right away.
So went up to Murray Park, trained, and then he would come to like all the boys club games, and every time I seen him, I thought he was my mate. I'd just run over and what's happening, Scott, high five, and people were like, who's that? That's a Rangers scout. And I was like, alright. I just treated him like a mate. I would still play my boys club game in the morning, so early morning kick off, and then maybe took off in the second game at half time to run up to Rangers. So it was like me and another boy, Aidan Gibb. So we were in the same boys club team and played for Rangers. So we would get subbed off at the second game at half time. My mum would drive us up to Murray Park. It's hectic.
Chaos. I would finish at 4:30, come home and pick up the boys, or whoever it is that was going, taking Billy up to Rangers or to St Mirren. And my mum would make me a little wee packed lunch, and that was my dinner to eat. Once I took Billy to his training, I'd sit in the car and eat while Billy was doing his training, and then I would go out and watch like the last hour or so.
My mum and dad always had great backing, like my mum, dad, my granda, man and uncle and all that. They would always support me. My granda would take me one night if he couldn't, mum, if he couldn't, dad, whatever. And they were like always just letting me do whatever I had to do. If they had to drive 2 hours to get me to training, they would.
There's 1,000 stories of people that were good when they were young and it doesn't work out. So nobody was getting ahead of themselves at all and enjoy football. I enjoy football, brilliant, but you don't look too much into
it. Tass, Pato. Guy just follows me everywhere, doesn't he? Jesus. See with this photo as well. So Nathan never played for my boys club, right? We had a little tournament, Scotland Boys Club and like a couple like big boys clubs, and we got the invite. So we took Nathan. So we had me and Nathan in the team. It wasn't cheating, it was just young. Chocolate crepes and all that. Oh. Do you know what I would really love? See a tango ice blast. It's a fix, but it works because I keep going back for more. A joke.
No.
Oh no, look. Feds and the wee stalls are amazing. You walk across it on a nice day, or even like days like this where it's coming to winter, it's still busy and people just go down there and get their seafood.
What's the dish of choice?
For me, crab, mussels, prawns, very basic. Very, very basic. Maybe try the other stuff, but it's very basic. I know what I like and I don't want to change it up in case I'm like, it spoils my dish. I still love going home as well though. I go home and I'll never like time for anyone, speak to everyone. I'll go home, go down to the baker's, and do you know what I miss from home the most? Is a roll slice and tatty scone from my baker's. Literally, like, that's the first thing I always do. See, when I do go back home to Scotland, go to the baker's the next morning, or a fry-up, like a Scottish fry-up though.
In all academies, when you hear an exciting kid coming through, it starts to become the talk of the coaches' room. And then what happened was more and more the word spread about this young kid coming through, and it actually, to be fair, wasn't a very good group. And of course the group will get quite exciting as well. So what you found was the B team coach, the 18s coach, everybody was coming along for a midweek game to watch under 11s and 12s and watch Billy and his talent playing.
I remember the first time I went, I didn't want to go in. I was nervous, I was crying. My granda, massive Rangers fan, took me up with my mum and all that, and we were there, and I didn't want to go in. I remember I was nervous, I was a bit scared, and then after the first day I loved it. But I was never like, oh, I'm training with Rangers. I just thought it was another football session. That's the way like, I would have treated it. I know I would have enjoyed it, and I loved the coaches. All the training drills we'd done was like little tricks and flicks and like shooting practices and little games. So it was like all enjoyable. It was never like demand this, demand that.
People talk now about Billy having an ability to take the ball in tight spaces, a good awareness, the way he moves the ball and his energy and all those things, and all of that is true, of course it is. But the bit that he's got that was different from everybody else, and it was really apparent at that young age, was a love of the game.
When I was young, my dad would always bring me into the change rooms, so like junior change rooms where his manager, Derek Fry, who great guy, he was like to my dad, he's going to go off in one, and my dad's like, it's fine, you can sit. So I was sitting there and the manager, Derek Fry's going crazy at the players, and I'm a young kid, but I loved it. Just watch my dad, and I think with his like aggression, when I watched him play, he's like never pull up a tackle, always going 100%. If you don't go in 100%, you're going to hurt yourself. So like little things like that stick with me, and I use them to this day.
So I played with an AV team, and then I done 9 or 10 years at Winton Rovers. Used to come off, I think, I don't know how much I get paid, £40 or £60 a week. I used to come off and they say to me, "You docked another tenner this week." I'm about for. Says the boys were drinking juice and eating everything. they just come in and say, "I take that off my dad's wages. Take that off my dad's wages this week."
And I think Billy Senior would probably still tell you to this day that he's the best player in that house, and believe it. I'm absolutely sure he'd believe it. So I think what you had on one hand was Billy Senior really challenging Billy Junior to say, right, come on, you need to win, you need to be who you are.
The first tournament that Rangers took him to was the Mundialito tournament, and you'd honestly think it was a mini World Cup for under 11s. It was brilliant, and we're playing against teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and a lot of Dutch teams, a lot of German teams. And it was like before it, they walked around the stadium, like Rangers Scotland, and I think they must have played Simply the Best or Flower of Scotland or one of them, and all the fans are going mental, but every team done it, like honestly, like a mini World Cup, the opening night kind of thing. It was amazing.
At that point, you felt like a young professional football player. That was a class zone. We got to the semi-final and we got beat off Seville, and then we went to Holland. The Holland tournament was probably a personal highlight. We won that and I got player of the tournament.
Was he holding his own in that kind of company?
No, he wasn't holding his own, he was standing out. Probably made him realise that, you know what, I can't be top here. but never ever with an ego. He always was so humble that he would keep working at it to make sure he gave himself the best possible chance.
Remember the first time I got told I was going to train with him? Dad phones me and he says, where are you? And I says, literally just pulling up to the Grange, the gates at the front of the school. And he's like, you're not going to school today. And I was like, alright. And he's like, you're going up to train with the first team. I was like, oh, buzzing like class. He says, don't tell your mum. End up going up training and then pictures end up coming out and like me reading, I think it was a bit of paper Mark Warburton was telling me. And mum's like, oh, when was this? And me and my dad just kind of look at each other like, it was a great experience and I loved it.
I think first memories are Billy coming training with us when I was coaching at Rangers. Coming around and training with the first team. He was only very young at the time, but very small but obviously very talented. So just coming around just to get a taste of being around the first team. He's easy to like and you know his personality is just conducive to coming into any environment and settling in and that was the case. And obviously his football speaks for itself as well, which always helps if you can, you know, it's alright being a nice person, but also when you can actually impress people on the pitch, then you get a lot of buy-in from that as well, which he obviously did very quickly.
Billy was unbelievably close to featuring for the first team. I think that the club was in a bit of transition at the time because he'd obviously worked with Mark Warburton and David Weir, and then Mark left, as did David, and Graham Murty came in at that point, and he was training with the first team regularly. He was about the squads, and I think there was a moment, particularly the rules didn't allow him to play in the league, but there was a possibility he could have played in the Scottish Cup.
But I was in one of the squads for a cup game at home, and Graham Murty basically pulls me before the game and says, look, you're not on the bench, you're in the squad. And I felt like I was going to be on the bench and maybe come on that game. It works in its weird ways, so it does, football. Of course, I would have loved to have played for Rangers, but I ended up moving on, and maybe it's a wee part of my journey that made the decision a bit easier.
It was one of those things when you are a manager, assistant manager, you know, you want to keep your best players around, and Billy wasn't ready for the first team at that time, but we also were realistic in terms of Billy would have had a lot of different choices, a lot of different options. He would have, you know, the world would have been his oyster, so you also have got to go and state your case and try and persuade Billy and the family that you know, his future could have been with Rangers, and as it happened and as it turned out it wasn't, and I think everybody completely understood that, but I think it was our duty to try and persuade him that it was.
See with this, that top, Jimmy Bell was a kit man. When I was leaving to go to Chelsea, I tried to take my top after the game, but Jimmy took it off me straight away. He says, you're not getting it, you've not played a game for Rangers. And I was like, alright, youngster, didn't want to say anything. When I was leaving, he came in the indoor hall and he's like, where is he? He's like, got to Chelsea? And I was like, aye. And he's like, alright, got a present for you. I was like, right. Threw me the top, and I felt like, I was like, oh, cheers. He says, right, go off. I love Jimmy Bell. He was good with me, really good.
Rangers knew that Billy's desire was to go and play in the Premier League. So you get a lot of stories out there that are just not true. People say it's for money and everything else. It was never about money for Billy. It was to go and play in the Premier League. That was his dream. We knew that.
It was strange where I'm going to school and I've got my mates telling me, oh, this team wants you and that team wants you. And I'm like, aye. My teachers, like PE teachers, are like, oh, this team wants you. And all the PE teachers love football. So like we'd have a good chat about it. Walk around the shops, people are asking you the same question, oh, are you leaving? Or why are you leaving Rangers? Or I'm thinking, Jesus, like, you've known me since growing up and now you're speaking to me asking about this. Like, I don't read newspapers, of course, but like my papa, my granda would send it into our WhatsApp group chat. Oh, he's on the front page today. Look, there's Billy. And it got a bit surreal, like, oh, this is pretty serious now.
When Billy was 15, it was a big decision to make. He'd went and visited a few teams with permission for Rangers to do so. And we sat down, we done our pros and cons, didn't we? And then we wrote down pros for this team, cons for that team. And then put in order what you thought of the 4 teams.
And all the pros that we put down were very similar. With Rangers it was the exact same. You're at home, still playing with a massive club, you're round about the first team, we can see you more often. 15, 16 years old, try to make the biggest decision, where do I want to play football?
We read them all out, and eventually we all had the same answer.
Foul!
My first memory of Billy, looking back, was a meeting that we had at Cobham at Chelsea's training ground. I was in the process of doing my coaching badges at the time, and I got asked by, I think it was Neil Bath, the academy director. He said, we've got this young kid coming in from Scotland, from Rangers, with his mum and dad. As soon as you're here, can you come and tell him a bit about Chelsea, you know, your experience as an ex-player?
That was a great day as well. We all went down as a family, all four of us, and we're signing for Chelsea, and Jody Morris is going through my clips, and then the next minute we get a knock at the door.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's Frank Lampard. And he's like, oh, do you mind if I come in and just have a wee blather with you and all that? And he's like, aye, that's fine. And I always remember his, Billy's agent saying, so if you get any other questions, what about you, Mum, any questions? And I was just like, Frank, can I get a picture? Billy was like, Mum, and I was like, sorry. But I thought, well, I might not see him again.
Best time ever, Mum, brilliant. End up getting a picture, and then that was it. I'm just sitting there like, Frank Lampard there. He ended up being my under-18s coach towards the end with Jody Morris. He was coming in and taking some sessions, so it was a nice moment.
There was something about him in terms of his personality and his family's way, his mum and dad, that it really struck home to me. A very normal family, sort of, you know, not to prejudge them, but you know, I felt like a sort of working class, really wanted to support their boy and their boy to do well. Got a really good vibe from Billy. I always then had Billy in my head from afar, because at that point I was on my little journey of becoming a coach.
Hi Dad, thank you for this B-Day thing, and I've got the Chelsea sitting there.
For me, when I moved down, I was young, so I was only thinking of the football. I was never thinking of what am I going to do after football training and what at night time. I was just thinking, I'm moving down to London to play football, in the same sense of I'm moving to Brighton to play football. So you don't really think that, and then when you're there, sometimes going into London, Selfridges, when we got paid at the end of the month, go and buy something, that was like what we looked forward to. We've done that as mostly as like a team, as a team.
Who would you kick about with from Brighton if you were off?
This season, Ansu just came. He stays here himself with his brother, so the odd time he'll text me or I'll text him if we want to go for a meal or we'll go into London or something.
What do you and Ansu Fati have in common?
I think it's just football and that's it. I mean, he doesn't understand Scottish well, I don't understand Spanish. But it's like we played against each other when we were younger. On our away days, we sit next to each other on the plane or on the bus, we'll play Patrice. So it's like Ludo basically. And me and him will play this for like hours. It gets very competitive. So it's, some days you'll be like, right, Answer, that's enough, or he'll be like, Bill, that's it, done. Welcome to the Brighton training ground. Hello, hello. I'll grab that, I'm good, thanks, sure. Don't worry about the camera, Charlie. Buzzman! Oh, you've got the two best guys at the club. 3, 4?
No, you missed out.
This is Cal.
Hey, you just missed out.
Buzzman.
Oh my God, you got no O's.
Admin. Yes.
You just missed out what he was wearing.
No.
That's amazing.
I'm just printing it up now. #1 fan.
So Buzz has got his own quiz. You want to speak to him, Buzz, about your quiz that we did at the training ground?
It's just a quiz that we made up and it's gone well, isn't it?
It's flying.
You're on it soon, huh?
I'm on it soon.
Massive numbers on YouTube.
Going to the shirt room?
Going to show them the shop. So this is all Buzz's kit room. All the players, ex-players. So this is all the players' international kits. There's mine there. Some collection, but he's got a fellow Scottish mate. Super John McGinn. I think this part's pretty good though. I enjoy this part. Also, this is a youth team gym. but they see us like we walk past and stuff, so maybe a little bit of inspiration. What do I do in the gym?
What are you good at in the gym?
Walking around, to be honest. To be fair, I do my stuff, I do like my prep work and that, but I'm always like, want to stay outside and just kick a ball about. That's the best way. Got absolutely everything in here, everything you need. TV's usually on, and then tech ball table up there. A couple of the boys are always messing about. To be fair, some of the South American boys are unbelievable at it. I never get involved in it, to be fair. Sometimes I have, but just for fun. In the mornings, I just like doing my own stuff, like kind of just getting ready for training. But nah, and then you get the view of the pitches and a little bit of the sunrise in there. It's lovely. Some gym in it.
It's absolutely class.
Do you know what? I've got one pet hate, right? See, when we're in here, obviously it's South Americans and all that, they all play like Spanish music. Don't understand any of it. What? Fancy this? Aye, right. I mean, like after training, we always get like a bit of shooting practice, or we play like foot golf, like closest to the line, play a couple games. So there's always someone wanting to stay out and do a bit extra as well. So, and I think as a team, I think we're all quite like that. So it's always good to get good numbers for shooting competitions and stuff.
He would always be one of the last to leave and one of the first to come in. I know people say that, but it was genuinely the case.
I know it's a cliche being first on the training pitch and last off, but he was literally that. He'd always wanted to be, as soon as we're down to training, his boots were on, he was out on the pitch.
Listen, he's one that he'll be on the training ground last every day.
I did hear about Billy while he was at Rangers. I talked to all the right people and they'd all said exactly the same things. No, this is either R1 or V1. You talk about the quality of player that we've got coming through.
There's always a question with a young player, especially a player that might have a slight build, physicality. The game's so physical these days that you can't hide a quality on the ball and an understanding of the game. And in those early days when I was coaching at a very young level, for me, he stood out as a top young player already.
One other thing about Frank Lampard when he was in charge, he did not care about names. He did not care about reputations. He only cared about, are you good enough this week to get a game for our team? Good, you're playing.
When I returned to Chelsea to manage, I think my staff were full of ex-academy coaches. People like Jody Morris, Joe Edwards, Chris Jones. So there was always a lot of feedback about many players in the academy. Our biggest question was who's ready. Always, Billy was at the top of the list at the top.
I think Billy said he was going to be in the squad, didn't he? For Sheffield United, there was a good chance he was going to feature if things were going okay. I think we were up 1-0, seen him warming up. But we've seen him warming up a few times at other games and we're thinking, he's not getting on, he's just in the squad.
And we ended up, I was going on and my mum and dad are in the stands, and I remember being nervous, thinking, oh God.
I just remember him like warming up, so my mum and dad were with us as well, and we were all like, oh, there he's here, he's coming on. And then he takes off his bib and he's standing in the sideline with Frank. And I remember saying to Harvey, I gave Harvey my phone, I'm like, Harvey, go. And he's like, what? I'm like, take a photo, go, quick, take a photo. And he's like, aye, all right, mum, calm down. And then when he gets subbed on and the ball's coming towards him, I'm like, oh no, run away from it, don't touch it.
Remember I take a touch past a player and see when I've lost it, my legs have went all jelly, and I think I was only on the pitch for 5 minutes, but see after the game it felt like a 90-minute game.
All the effort and time that you put into your son hoping to achieve his dream, and then when you see him running on that pitch you just think, as a parent, that's all you want for your children.
It was a dream come true, playing the Premier League, especially for Chelsea, and ticked off one of my dreams when I was a young kid. Of course I was disappointed to score. The score was 2 each. And I think I came on at 2-1 and they scored. So straight away I'm thinking, oh, it's me. And you blame yourself, don't you? So it's just one of the things. But I remember him texting me saying, like, proud of me, I deserve it, keep going, stick with it and stuff. So for someone like Frank Lampard to go out his way to text me, that was a surreal moment.
Well, we got to a point at towards the end of the season, getting into the crunch part of the season, we were playing Liverpool in the FA Cup, Everton in the league. A few days afterwards.
I think we got a heads up the night before to say I'm starting in the cup for Liverpool, and I'm going, wow. And then I phoned Carrie's mum and dad to say, listen, I've booked 2 hotels, 2 rooms in the hotel, come down.
I wasn't surprised when Billy played against Liverpool and controlled it, purely because I know that he had it in him. And I'd been telling people, the Chelsea fans who hadn't seen him, look, you're going to love this kid.
It's weird because even though he'd played the exact same way on our 18s and on our 21s, you always think that you can't keep doing that at Premier League level. And then he went on and he just played his own game. I'm going, well, that's just the way he plays, that's him.
I don't know, I think it was Roy Keane that announced he got man of the match, and it was just like, wow, that's my big brother.
And I think we probably all know what happened. Anyone who knows Billy's story knows that that game against Liverpool, he played, it was man of the match, played an incredible level of quality and personality. A big week for Billy. I threw him in there a little bit and he absolutely stood up and delivered.
I settled into the game really quickly, and it was like nice touches of balls, a couple of nice dribbles. And then, of course, after the game, my dad pulled me and said, like, you need to do it again, like, can't just live off that. So we had Everton, and I was more nervous for the Everton game because I think that was playing in my mind. Like, the full week, well, the 4 days preparing for the game, it was like, oh, Billy Gilmour, Billy Gilmour. It was everywhere. Right, find out I'm starting, and remember, like, the first thing I done was got in the half turn and played the ball forward, and straight away my nerves just calmed down. I was like, right, I belong here. I can control. I'm not just like I'm running, defending. It was more on the ball stuff, which I knew I was comfortable with. Is anyone in the spa? Yes, there is. JP? Is it just him himself? Right, okay. JP won't mind. Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Come in here, get your towels, your house coats and all that. What do you call it? House coat or dressing gown? Ah, never been. Unreal, innit? Mostly after most days of training, I'll come in here after like gym and lunch and just chill out. Sometimes I'll maybe just go home, but always good. If you've got stuff like this, it makes you want to stay longer, doesn't it? So it is class. So this is like a meeting room. We come on here every morning. I always sit here on the left. This is my seat in the meetings. I watch clips in here. So we do, so like Crofty, he'll say like, let's have a 1-1 meeting, and usually do that after games. So he'll like show you clips from the game, what you could have done better, what was good, or I know, like, as in pass completion, like I always like to look at that, like pass percentage, because I don't like giving the ball away, it's the same as any player, but you always want as a midfielder to be above 80, 85, making sure that you're not giving the ball away much, do you know what I mean? So I think that's the most I'll probably look at, the biggest stat. One of the youngsters doing the griddy.
What was the best about being like a youth player?
More fun, probably.
Did you do jobs, Billy?
At Chelsea, I done jobs, so like under 18s we had like a week planner, so you'd be like pump up the balls, make sure that all the bibs there, cones, take out the equipment, water bottles filled up. So we done that at 18s, and then at 23s it was nothing. Kind of got treated more like a pro, but of course you still had to do like clean your boots, making sure, just little stuff. My own. I never end up cleaning any first team players' boots. Never. Only time at Rangers is when I was round about the first team, where Jimmy Bell would tell me, tell me to pick up all the dirty kit and all the boots, and I loved it.
Did you resent doing the jobs, or did you see the value of what looking back?
No, definitely. I mean, I love football, and I was fascinated to be seeing like the first team players in the change room. So I'd go out and pick their strip up and look at the back and be like, oh, that's class. Like, you feel like the real ones. Obviously, when I was young, like, you had no fake ones, but it wasn't like the proper match kit ones. So when you pick that up, you thought, oh, that's proper. So just little things like that just make you pure enjoy it more. And then when you're the first team player and you see the youngsters come over, you wonder if they just think the same, like, oh, I've trained with the first team, doing all the kit and stuff. So it's a good thing, and I think that we probably don't do it as much now, don't they not? So
no, I think Billy was definitely excited about it. Crazy, you forget, just like I said to Billy, I says, there's no many Scottish players win it. I says, and to be in that position to win it, I says, it's probably the biggest trophy you can win.
Champions League. There's one photo on that. Another good one. So Mum's obviously saved it for Snapchat. There it's there. That's the favourite picture. My favourite picture of all time. Me and my wee bro.
How close are you to your brother?
Very close. We've got that. It's a love-hate relationship. So it is. We always argue. But we get along really well and talk about football, golf. He loves golf and he is better than me at golf, so he always beats me.
Who's a better cook?
Harvey. Oft. But you know what, see when he came down, he would cook my dinner and then like he'd make dinner and I would come into the kitchen, the kid when I was trying to help and he just told me, Bill, away and sit down. Honestly, see, his food's amazing. I've got pictures of it as well. It's grand, great.
So the Champions League final was Chelsea v Man City in Porto and it was like surreal. Like, obviously we're all into football, so the Champions League final is like the top game in club football, do you know what I mean? It's one of the biggest games and for your son to be there, you're just thinking, wow, this is amazing. This is things that we watch on telly and now we're actually at it.
No, it was a great night. Of course, I was on the bench, so I was really happy. I knew I wasn't going to play, of course, but to just be around it and experience the build up to it, you watch that stuff on TV and of course I've seen Andy Robertson do it, seen his medal, I'm thinking that's amazing. And when we went to the Champions League final, the build up was great. It just didn't feel real, it never. And after it when we won, it was class. Get a medal and Champions League picture with the Champions League trophy, families on the pitch getting pictures, thinking this is amazing.
You definitely get a kick to think, you know, that's just a wee boy that I watched at 8-year-old and look at where he is playing now.
He's obviously been a name that everybody spoke about even down the road. I think his name was going about when he was 16 years old and he was getting spoke about from huge personalities and huge names in the game. And the first time I actually met him would have been at the Euros when obviously he made the squad.
I think obviously with the COVID situation there was a enlarged squad, so there was a chance for me to bring 3 extra players in. I looked at what was around, what I could do. Looking at the younger ones in the squad, at that time was David Turnbull, Nathan Patterson and Billy, who obviously I'd heard a lot about through my contacts at Chelsea at the time. I knew he was good, I'd seen him play a couple of times. And you're looking for someone who can maybe be the future of Scottish football, and certainly at that stage of his career, Billy was one that we earmarked that could be part of the squad moving forward.
When you get called up for your country, there's no better feeling. Since under 15, 16s, put the shirt on, represent my country.
Scottish FA JD Performance Schools were formed in 2012 and the idea was to create an environment that our best young potential had an opportunity to train every single day. So we looked at the country in general and we tried to look at the most populated areas, the historical areas of where football players have come out of, and we created 7 schools.
When I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's where I want to go. Don't need to do much school, just play football. But I thought I was going to a football school where there was no school. So I was like, it's even better. I went to Grange in Kilmarnock, an amazing school. I loved it. It was brilliant. We always done it every single day at school. Go and do our classwork, English, math, science and PE, and then you done football. Didn't need to go and do like geography or history and stuff. So like, if you're telling someone, oh, you're going to school but you're going to go and play football for 2 periods, yep, I'll take it.
And the idea behind it really is to create a different type of environment, an environment where you can generally be really patient as we try and create a national identity of a football player. One that we hope that can form the basis and the foundations that they can go and have a career in the game.
The amount of people that have came out there performing school, for instance myself, I've got Nathan Patterson, Christy Hamilton, there's loads of boys out there, there's even younger ones now who are coming through who have made the step where they've went from performance school and left to go down south, or they've went performance school and now they're in the first team.
Right, go again.
Congratulations to the Scottish FA Performance School JT graduates. Mate, I'm so nervous.
Congratulations to the Scottish FA JD graduates.
I've got it.
I think, anyway. Just say well done to all the wee guys going to school play football.
Right, no, it's fine, right, we've got it.
Right, 3, 2, 1, action.
Congratulations to the Scottish... Oh, I've got it ready, I've got it. Congratulations to all the Scottish FA Performance JD graduates. What did I say the first time? Congratulations to all the Scottish FA JD Performance School graduates.
The hard work starts now. Good luck.
Good luck.
Get it!
People like Billy bought into the idea of not just wanting to play for Scotland, but proud to play for Scotland. This pride of watching our national team playing, and we thought that was coming back. And then once you started seeing him playing the youth squads, you knew we'd achieved that first goal.
That's the ceremony for the performance school. That's all my mates at the school. Jay Henderson, he plays. Pato. There's a top picture. Look at the barnet though. Jesus. Me and Pato, Victory Shield.
Well, I remember coming here to watch the Scotland 16s and hearing about one or two of the names in advance. Some of the guys that maybe had a bit of a reputation, guys to look out for, and as much as it was a name that I had heard, it wasn't really one that I was set on looking out for, which was probably the best thing about it. But then as soon as the game starts, your eyes were drawn to him.
Nice play from Scotland, trying to set the tone early on into the danger man Billy Gilmore, skipping through and into Semple early on, clatters heavily into goalkeeper Keaton Clark.
And then once your eyes were there, you found yourself that you couldn't look away for the rest of the game, and you found yourself almost player cam type, just watching the way he moved.
Into Gilmore, turns back.
Wonderful balance.
So I got called up to the 21s, Scott Gemmell was the manager, and I was excited. Of course, I love going away with Scotland teams, get to see all the boys again. Of course, I've never been with this age group, but I was going with another boy, Chrissy Hamilton, who I've grew up with, so I was going to be comfortable with him, right?
So the Toulon tournament, it's an under-20s tournament, one of the biggest youth tournaments in football. The likes of Ronaldo, Zidane, players like that have played in it, so a lot of big names.
So we shared a room and we're going to train and we're talking about the standard, the level, and both of us end up playing against France for our first game, and I think we'll win the game actually 1-0. And after that we were buzzing, two youngsters, we were playing with our age group, and then we got called up to 21s. In the full summer, it was amazing.
When I listened to Billy on the phone to his dad, he'd be frustrated because he didn't start the first game and he didn't come on, and I went out there with the expectation just to sort of go out and enjoy it and enjoy the experience, whereas for him it was about getting on the pitch, impressing people and making a name for himself, which in the end he done that.
The end up of that, played majority of the games, and at the end of it we were getting awards and got revelation of the tournament, which was a proud moment. 16 years old, it was class. It opened me up to men's football.
If anyone asks me who's the best player he played with or played against, I always say Billy Gilmore, because his standards of himself, wanting to go to the 20s, under 20s at 16-year-old and expecting himself to start the first game and to be the best player in training every day, and the standards he expected of everyone else was so high, and I think that's why he's probably just continued to make the next step in his career, because he's always pushing himself to be the best he can be.
There it's there, my braces, revelation of the tournament at France, and that's class.
Watching not only like the willingness to like take the ball in those tight areas, but almost like that he preferred it that way, like preferred it if he was surrounded by people, and really seemed to like thrive on it. And straight away you're sitting up thinking, who is that? Who is this kid? Because we maybe off the back of a generation of accusations, maybe unfairly, that it was the big powerful players that kept getting picked ahead of everyone else, yet there was this guy who was handling the ball like a 25-year-old Spanish midfielder or something like that.
The Euros coming about, Billy was maybe on the fringes and people were speaking about him maybe getting called up.
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
I got a text in the morning, congratulations, you've been called up for the A squad. Literally, that's how vague it was, right? So I ended up straight away, I phoned my agent. So is this true? He's like, who is it? So I sent him the number. He's like, Yeah, that's Frank. He's the part of Scotland. He puts out squads and that's right, cool. So that's when I was like, believed it. I've went through all the age groups and now I've just been called up to the A squad to go and represent my country at the Euros, and I was like, what a feeling that is. Like, it's a dream come true. The biggest buzz I got was a text from Andy Robertson. Hi wee man, Robbo here. Huge congratulations on getting called up. Really deserved. All your hard work paying off in the end. Amazing season you've had on a high. Making sure confidence is exactly what you do at Chelsea. That's why you're in the squad. Me and the rest of the lads will help you and the new boys settle in. I'm sure you'll love the experience in the camp. Good luck in the final and I'll see you next week. Skip. No number saved. I was like, Skip, it's Robbo. It's like, that's a nice touch. Told my mum and dad, everyone, and it sticks with me actually.
He can play the left side of the defence. Liam Palmer and Andrew Considine have dropped out from the last squad, by the way. They are not.
Billy Gilmore. So I remember we travelled down for the England game. I said we get something to eat, and then I think maybe about 11:30, 12, Billy phoned us.
I didn't think I was going to play at all. I thought it was experience. And when I found out I was starting for England, told my dad straight away, I was like, I'm starting.
And we were going, no way.
It's like, aye. Obviously your family's a big game, Scotland for England, at Wembley, everybody's buzzing, oh we're gone, we'll see you there. Oh amazing, like work hard, like enjoy it. All the Scotland fans singing, of course we've seen all the videos the night before of them taking over London, which was amazing. And I was like, this is like surreal, like, this is happening. Going out and of course playing against players that I've already played against. So I was comfortable in that sense where I knew I was up against Mason, who I've trained with every single day. I know what he's going to do. He'll know what I'll do. Like, I can work hard and it'll be a good competition.
It was pretty good, you know, it was outstanding because he gets thrown into a game of that magnitude. To go out there and handle it the way he did, to be part of a really good team performance, I think was good for Billy.
But my mind went back to the games against Liverpool and Everton for Chelsea, where I'd thrown him in potentially at the deep end, and he dealt with it. Good players do that.
The game will stick with me forever. I loved it. Still remember Sods, his shot. I thought it was in. We had a good opportunity. We started well. It was a great night for Scotland as a whole and us as a team.
It's still surreal. Like this is just Billy playing for Scotland, and you're thinking, wow, do you know what I mean? He's just Billy for Ardrossan, and he's down at Wembley playing against England, and you're thinking, it's crazy.
The confidence and the slight arrogance that he showed that day was incredible to watch, and everybody had spoke about him, but that was really when the Scotland fans really went, this is our future, and I think going forward it will continue to be that.
There was a lot of nice things written and said about you after that performance at Wembley. Andy Murray sticks out. He tweeted that night, Billy Gilmore is my idol. What did that mean from someone, I mean, a legendary Scottish sporting figure?
When I seen it, I was like, it's Andy Murray, like one of the biggest in Scotland ever. Watch him all the time in the summer, Wimbledon, Dad shouting at TV, I'm shouting at TV, so it was like, it was class to see that, like Scotland coming together. Look, Scotia. Actually, Donkey binned one earlier, look. I made it. I don't know, who would play me in a movie? Probably see somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio and I'll try and boost myself up. No chance.
Who you say? DiCaprio. That
So yeah, locker room, sit next to Tariq, my mate. So when I came in, this was like there was a couple spare seats, and the first day in I sat up here next to T. João always plays Brazilian and Spanish music, To be fair, it is quite good because it's got a nice beat, so he doesn't want to listen to Jerry Cinnamon probably.
There was a lot of interest in him, and when he was away with Scotland at the time, I can always remember Stuart Webber, sporting director at Norwich, gave Granty the task of obviously getting him to us, and I don't know what Granty done, but he managed to get it. I think he'd him locked in the room for a couple of days, but it was a good move. It looked a really good move on paper for him.
My agent got a couple of calls saying there was teams interested to take me on loan, so I go to Norwich and I know Norwich in the Championship, top team, and they always played nice football, so that was my visual, and maybe that was a naive thing from me, thinking that we were going to do that in the Premier League, where I know it's a total different league. When I look back now, I've learned so much more. So, for instance, when at Norwich, my first season at Brighton, I wasn't playing, but I knew I could handle it. I handled it really well, because at Norwich, I'd done it there for a little part.
He was there as a sort of the pin-up boy, if you like, the big signing from Chelsea that was going to help Norwich stay in the division.
I was like his dad at times, looking after him, and I was probably harder on him than anybody else in the squad, because I knew what he was capable of. Everybody struggled a bit, and Billy couldn't find that form that everybody wanted him to find. But I think that's maybe where he now can look at it and say, well, when the chips are down, I know that I can still fight on, and I can still go and try and do as much as I can.
Mostly, see if we've been beaten, I've not played well, or even if I have played well but been beat, it'll play in my mind, like, how have we not won this game, or why have I done this in the game? And I don't think I'll ever switch off from it. I think I love coming home and think about the game, and maybe sometimes shove on match of the day and be like, right, let's see what I've done.
Tell us about how you de-stress around the house.
See, when my dog's here, chill with my dog. Go a walk with my dog, sit on the sofa with him. He wants to play, tickle, fight, everything. So that's probably what I do after games, and it's amazing. After I won Scotland camp, I was like, my mum and dad were on holiday, and I just went to the house, went into the house, took the dog, took all his stuff that he needs, and got a taxi straight from Glasgow to Norwich through the night with the dog. Just because I was like, I'm not going home myself, like I can't. When you had your dog, I just got a walk into the forest, and it was class.
Obviously, come back from Norwich, we were on holiday, and he phoned me and says, I've been sent to the 21s. Oh, what do you mean, you're in America? And he's going, I know. Tickle says, when the game time here for us.
It was a tough one, because of course I never wanted to leave. I felt like I could play for Chelsea, and that's my home. Like, I grew up there mostly, basically at 15 years old. I love everyone there, the staff, friends. I knew the place really well. At the time, I want to play football. I don't want to sit on a bench, and I don't want to be out of squads. I need to play football. I represent my country now, and I want to be in many squads and play as many games as possible for Scotland. So I think that if I was to stay at Chelsea, it would probably set me back a little bit.
And after obviously a failed loan, he wasn't kind of enamoured with going in another loan. He's gone, no, I don't want to be a loan player. Just want a team that's my team, and I play first team football. Straight away I knew that my time was up. Manager never wanted me. So it was like, I had conversations with him, and he's like, maybe it's best that you do leave and maybe find a new route. And I was like, yeah. So made the decision to leave, and Brighton came forward, and when they first called I was unsure. So phoned David Weir.
We just said, look, Billy, young players got opportunities here. This is the way we'll play. We think it'll suit you. Ultimately it'll be, you know, how you train, how you do when you get your opportunity will dictate how much you play, and that's down to you, but we can assure you there is a pathway here. There is an opportunity for young players to come in and play regularly and play in the Premier League, and, you know, hopefully compete at the top end of the Premier League.
You can move to Brighton, for instance, who are now obviously a fantastic club, and move on again, and, you know, there are many journeys and paths to have, and they're all part of the experiences. It's easy when you're an old man like me to be able to say that, but when you're in the moment, Billy's probably, I want to play for Chelsea forever. Now Billy's gone his own way. He'll be stronger, he'll be better for it, he'll work with other coaches, he'll work in a different environment, he'll see another dressing room. All those things are only going to be a plus for him in the end.
It sounded brilliant, so I've came down, signed the contract, and seen the place, and the place was nothing what I expected. It was unbelievable. 2 days later, the manager goes to Chelsea, and going, oh no, here we go again. It was a strange moment. I've signed, met Graham Potter, and literally the week later he's left. And the weird thing about it, we were training at the Amex that day, and before we went out to training, me and Levi Colwell seen the news that Thomas Tuchel has been sacked, and I was like, poof, that was a quick turnaround, like, what's happened there? Levi's like, Jesus, like, I never expected that. And then the next minute after training, Graham Potter's about Chelsea. He's driving up, and I'm like, you can't write this.
Our manager left really quickly, and Billy having just come into the building, obviously nobody envisaged that, and that was something that happened that we had to react to and adjust to, so we just tried to continue as normal.
And that was it, and then that's when De Zerbi came in. His first training session was intense as in the tactics, and do you know what, the first couple of months it was very strange, where the way he wanted to play was like waiting for pressure, passing out of pressure, two-touch, get yourself opened up, playing in like certain styles to break out from defence, and I loved it. But I wasn't playing, and I'm trying stuff, maybe working too hard to try and impress, and that's probably why I wasn't playing as much. But I had to like learn a lot, and I did get my opportunity towards the end of the season where I played more games consecutively. Wolves was probably the standout game under De Zerbi, where it was a bit of a make or break. If I never played well that game, I don't think I would have been at Brighton this season, and that was totally how I thought of it. But I had a really good game, and I was buzzing with that, of course, and played the rest of the games towards the end of the season and enjoyed it. When I came back after the break, I was ready to go. I was like, right, this is my season now. I need to work hard and do everything, and I know how he wants to play now. I'm not sitting at the side learning. I've learned it. I've done it for the full season. I know what he wants. So coming in and started the season off well so far.
I think his ability to take the ball under pressure, his ability tactically to understand what a coach wants, his game intelligence, his game understanding, and his knowledge of football, I think, is really important, as well as his low ego in terms of if he's not playing, he's still a good person around about the building. The basics to enable you to be a good footballer, Billy does them well.
To have the ability to receive and understand spaces around him, pressure when pressure's coming, when to move the ball quickly. He's got a fantastic range of passing, so as well as playing short, he can find longer passes and change play balls forward and behind, like penetrative passes rather than just safe. He's got that mixture to his game. He's got a toughness about him that means he'll put his foot in, and a determination which I think is important in the position of the pitch that he plays at.
For me, it was always Billy was going to be one of the big players moving forward, as he's proved, and was just to keep him involved. When you've got the qualities that Billy's got, you know that eventually that quality is going to rise to the surface and he's going to become part of your regular picks again, so that's how it worked out.
No manager or manager of the ability of Steve and experience of Steve will give out free passes. You know, if Billy's not playing for his team, he better come and train well and show that he deserves to play for Scotland, or he's not going to get in. And I don't think Billy could be in any better hands as his national manager than with Steve.
With me, he's like always stuck by me, and I always wanted to go away with Scotland. I always wanted to play, but just to be part of it at the time when I wasn't playing, I was like happy. I'm there working hard, but love the gaffer. The gaffer gives me a lot of trust when I'm on the pitch.
If you're playing for Scotland, you should always expect absolutely every ounce of energy you've got. Please tell me, anyone who's listening, have you ever seen Billy giving any less than that at any time, at any training session? No, you haven't.
Gilmore. With this, and Gilmore's in! Oh, and Gilmore scores! His first ever senior goal!
Finally scored my first goal in professional football. It was weighing heavy on me, as you all know. Every game I'd be like, oh, I had a shot there and I hit the post, oh, it's been saved, how did that not go in? I've always said, oh, this celebration, that celebration, right? Like everyone else is like going to the corner flag or a knee slide or something. I've just scored the goal and ran straight to Scott McTominay. So that just shows pure inexperience. I know scoring goals.
Honest answers only. How many times did you watch it back?
Oh, loads. I think the full. I stayed over in France that night, and I was getting the Eurotunnel back the next day. I think the full night. I went back to the hotel and just kept replaying it for different angles. You have to let me laugh, lads.
I definitely feel he's got talent and ability to get in the box because he can finish. There's no reason why he can't score more goals. So I think he can add it to his game, but at the right time as he gets better and more mature.
think we're really lucky because he's probably not alone in this, but some of the guys that are flying the flag for the national team at the moment just seem like really good people as well, which does help. There's no doubt about it. Yes, the priority is what they do on the pitch, but it always just seems like really down to earth, really mature, but just a genuinely a good person who's probably never forgotten where he's come from. I think he's the type of guy that you want to see do well.
Everywhere I go now, I'm seeing Scotland strips with like McKinnon, McTominay, Robbo. I'm seeing all this now, and I've never really seen that growing up. And now to see that, it's a massive thing now, like we're doing for the country, and inspiring these young kids to come and watch Scotland games, and their best players are Scotland players, their favourite players, so it's amazing to see, and hopefully we can continue that and it can continue through all the age groups.
I would say he's a figure that the young football boys and girls do look up to, don't they?
Oh, definitely.
It gives them a kind of inspiration, like, oh well, Billy's from Ardrossan.
A lot of our friends still coach for TAS and for Winton Rovers and different things like that. And when we go a night out with them, they say, oh, it's great, it says having Billy as a kind of example of what you can achieve if you stick to it.
We're quite good at the moment. Not pushing it too far, but we're quite good at the moment.
He's achieved a lot already, and you know, he's had a really good start to his career, but he's still got a long way to go, and I'm sure Billy would be first to say he's learning every day, especially under a manager like this and in the Premier League, which is an elite level.
But we all know Billy is and will be going forward a massively important part of Scotland team.
As long as Billy is happy at the end of the day, what he's done in his career, where he's been, and probably hopefully won a few things as well. I think that's, as long as he's happy, that's the main thing.
All Billy's achieved in his football, and for everything that he might still achieve in football, at the end of the day, he's still just their wee Billy.
I think because he's a small player, I don't need to talk about that much, but I think people can kind of go, oh, well done, lad, you know what I mean? As if it should be a surprise, do you know what I mean?
Scotty Shinnie yesterday, and he's 5'4", and Billy was raging, mate. He's going, I'm at least 5'7.5".
If you ask me the best players I played against in midfield, amongst others, I'd go Xavi and Iniesta, because they were incredible football players. You couldn't get near, would always receive the ball and play, and no one belittles them.
I'm sitting there, so I asked Kenny, I said, oh, Kenny, can I go and get an ice pull? So I got my ice pull, and they shout my name, Billy Gilmour, for revelation of the tournament. I'm walking up, and when I'm getting pictures of the trophy, the ice pull, like the blue, I think it was on my tongue, but I was asking if I had it in my teeth. And then on the way home in the car, we just kept showing my tongue, it was all blue.
I ended up on Radio Clyde GBX with George Bowie after the Scotland-England game at Wembley. So George Bowie said to me, oh, you must be buzzing about the result and how well Billy played. And I remember thinking to myself, right, I can't use buzzing again, and I'm thinking, like, another word for buzzing, another word, and then I went, oh, I'm mega buzzing. And I was thinking, oh my God, can't believe I just said mega buzzing. But we still get slagged, mega buzzing.
Chelsea won the Champions League, right, so got there, the first person to walk in is wee Billy. And Billy goes, oh, Pat, how you doing? And there was this brilliant moment where Petr Cech comes walking over, and Petr goes, hello, to say hello to me. And Billy goes, oh, leave it alone, Peter, I'm talking to Pat. And just replied to him.
When we do the part 2 of this in 10 years' time, what do you want to have achieved? What do you want to have done?
Grow a proper beard. Grow a proper beard. Won a lot of trophies. Yeah, like 10 years' time, Jesus. This will go quick as well, won't it? Yeah, scary to think. 10 years' time, still playing football. I'm not going to push for anything, but 10 years' time, still playing football, win trophies, and hopefully still representing my country.